Good morning to all our viewers and welcome to Austria for today's practice session, which starts shortly at 10 o'clock on this 4.3 kilometre track, formerly known as the A1 Ring. We should be set up for an interesting session as the teams attempt to gather as much data as they possibly can about this circuit.
They'll have to go out and start testing the track limits, so you might see quite a few cars running wide or locking their wheels as they see how hard they can push. As they get used to the track, the times will get faster and we should see less mistakes.
Before we even got to this track, a lot of people were suggesting that teams with the Mercedes power unit will have the advantage. Is it as simple as that?
The teams will have arrived with all manner of parts designed to capitalise on the long straights. The cars will be that much harder to drive in the corners, but everyone will be in the same boat.
Hello and welcome back to this career mode, driving as Daniil Kvyat in the F1 2014 season. We are here in Austria. Last time out in China. If you haven't already watched it, I'll give you a couple of seconds before I spoil it to go and watch it. I'll leave a link on this video. Okay, that's about enough time. So last time out in Canada, we were running really well, running in third after Lewis Hamilton pit because of a really strange puncher. But unfortunately, disaster struck and we crashed, which put us down into about 14th. We managed to put it back though and get 1 point in the World Championship. Here in Austria, it's a track that I absolutely love. I played it on last year's game and I absolutely love this track, so I'm hoping for a good result here. However, I don't think we're too fast, so I'm hoping for around a 7th position. Nothing happened in practice as per usual, so we're going to go straight over and have a look at the results of practice.
In a sign of things to come this weekend, the Mercedes drivers have topped the timesheets in today's practice session.
So there we go. Lewis Hamilton tops the practice session with Nico Rosberg just behind him by 0.09 of a second. We're down in 9th position on the prime tyres though, but I still think that's where we'll be aiming for in the race. John O'Vine, our teammate, gets 12th position in practice. He is about half a second off of our pace. So without any further ado, let's head over to one short qualifying session. Here we go.
Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon where qualifying is about to start here in Austria. So sit back and enjoy the afternoon session. This is going to be an interesting session. Who's going to come out on top in qualifying today? Having spoken to many people in the paddock, no one seems to have an outright winner in mind.
It is certainly difficult to predict. I would say it's advantage Mercedes, but you can never rule anything out. I reckon we are probably looking at 3 or 4 teams who can realistically fight for pole position today.
So here we go, one short qualifying session in Austria. We'll be hoping for a good qualifying result today. I'm aiming for around 9th position. I reckon that's where we can come, 9th or 10th. To get in the top 10 would be absolutely brilliant because it means that we have a good chance of scoring points in the race tomorrow. So without any further ado, let's get this qualifying lap started. So starting the lap now as we cross the line. Running down to the first corner, obviously the Williams and the Mercedes get the straight line speed, so they're going to lead the session at the beginning. As we clip the apex, try not to run wide because you will lose time over there on the left. Running down on the longest straight on this track, all the way down to turn 2. Not very many corners on this track, that's why it's only about a 1 minute circuit, or 1 minute point 10. As we're going round the first corner, which is very tricky and slow, trying not to lose the back end there, which we do okay. Get the DRS open and heading down to turn 3 with Nico Rosberg, who leads the session at the moment. We're down in P5, so that's not too bad. We're going round the right-hander at turn 3. Getting down the throttle, trying not to lose the back end there as well, as we're running towards the 2 left-handers as Lewis Hamilton takes the lead from Nico Rosberg, as we get stuck on the grass and then we lock up, which is going to absolutely compromise our exit here. There we go, as we run wide just a little bit. We're only in so we're up to P4 there, so we're just flickering between P7 and P4. As we're running down to the final 2 corners. This first one's very tricky, very easy to run wide here, which we don't manage. Just get a wheel on the curb, that's okay. Down the last corner, running down to the line now, going through the revs. Can we get a good position? Yes, looks like we've got P9. Yep, that's P9 in this qualifying session, which is not too bad at all.
It's been a mighty qualifying performance from Mercedes today, with both cars on the front row for the race tomorrow.
It's been a great session for the team. They've really been pushing hard to make this happen, and their hard work has been rewarded.
So, a not too bad qualifying session there. Lewis Hamilton gets pole position ahead of Nico Rosberg, only separated by 44 thousandths of a second. Valtteri Bottas gets third with Felipe Massa fourth, Daniil Ricciardo fifth, Sebastian Vettel sixth, Kimi Raikkonen seventh, no, Fernando Alonso seventh, Kimi Raikkonen eighth, then we're in ninth and Jenson Button is in 10th. So that would do for the qualifying session. Let's head straight over to the race for the Austrian Grand Prix.
2 hours outside of Vienna is Spielberg, a spectacular circuit with dense forests and rolling hills as a backdrop. What a destination for today's race. Time to get ready for the Austrian Grand Prix. Mercedes horsepower once again takes pole position for today's race after Lewis Hamilton's stunning time in Q3 yesterday. If he can translate that pace into race performance, then you have to say he's a sure bet for the victory.
There are a lot of variables that can cause a driver to be happy with the car one day to struggling with it the next. Track temperature, excessive tyre wear or a change of fuel load can all affect the feel of the car. He'll definitely be hoping that when the race gets underway, he's got the same balance as he enjoyed in qualifying.
When it comes to qualifying, the number one driver at Williams has been Valtteri Bottas. He's out-qualified Felipe Massa in the majority of qualifying sessions so far this season.
And Felipe is no mug, but Valtteri is going from strength to strength, and you can see why they rate him so highly over in the Williams garage.
So here we go, it's race day for the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's have a look at the race strategy. So we're going to be starting on the option tyres and pit stopping around lap 8 or 9 for the primes for this 18 lap race. It's only going to take 22 minutes because it is a very short circuit. So let's get on with the race. So 5 lights. And away we go. Another terrible start off the lines. We move over to the left as we get wheel spin in first gear. Heading down to the first corner. Jenson Button is ahead of us now as we try and stay away from Kimi Raikkonen. We've got 2 Force Indias just on our right there. And we've stayed in P10. Jenson Button, unfortunately for us, has got ahead. But he's also got ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. So it's very good for him into the first corner. Heading down to turn 2 now. Kimi Raikkonen looking for a move. We're going to go right up the inside of Kimi. Can we make the move stick? We're going very slowly into that corner, maybe a bit too slow. As we lose the back end momentarily, that will allow Nico Hülkenberg to get a run on us. But unfortunately for us, I think he's just a bit too far back. No, he isn't. He's going to go for a move around the outside. Will he make it stick? No, we're just going to cover off the inside and close the door on him. We run wide just a little bit, but it's not too bad for us. Now running down to the toe left-handers. Still behind Kimi Raikkonen. We're going to be wanting to close them up here. This is where I believe we're fastest on the whole track as we close them up, as we've got a massive train ahead of us. As we go to the left, then get a better run on Kimi Raikkonen into this next corner. Can we make the move? As we're going to have to brake later. Yes, we do. And oh, we just narrowly missed Jenson Button. Lewis Hamilton is actually going into the pits on lap 1, so he's had a problem. Maybe with Nico Rosberg, maybe with someone else, but Nico Rosberg does actually lead this race at the moment. As we've got Kimi Raikkonen right behind us, he's going to be going for a move around the inside of turn 1. Will he make it stick? He goes up the inside, but we get the better line on the exit. So we will make that move stick for P8 now because Lewis Hamilton pit. We've got 3 ahead of us, which is Jenson Button, I think, and Fernando Alonso, and the Red Bull of Daniil Ricciardo fighting up ahead. No, it's Sebastian Vettel, sorry. We go into turn 2, we're right behind Jenson Button now. Didn't lose the back end that time, which is very good. Otherwise that would have allowed Kimi Raikkonen to have a good run on us. So going into turn 3 now, P8 still. Just trying to get as close to Jenson Button as possible. Running towards the 2 left-handers. Still behind Jenson Button. We'll be looking to make a move very soon if we can stay behind him as long as possible. Got a better exit on that corner. Going up the inside, lock up a little bit, but Jenson Button was just a bit late on the brakes. We've got a better line through there, but he had the inside for the next corner, but he is defending this right-hander. We'll be able to make a move. No, we get a wheel onto the grass. As we go round the outside of Jenson Button now. He's still on our inside, so we give him the room, but we make that move stick. Unfortunately, though, he is going to get the slipstream on us. Will he be able to go round the inside or outside? Here he goes, up the inside. We're going to brake just a little bit later. We give him the room. And that has cemented us into P7 for now. Up next is Sebastian Vettel. As we cut ahead to lap 4 now. We're still in P7. There has been a DNF. I believe that might have been Rosberg. Yes, Nico Rosberg is out of this Grand Prix. So that means no Mercedes driver is leading the race. I think they said Massa was the race leader just there. So we're up into P6 at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. We've got Nico Hülkenberg behind us. As we cut ahead now to lap 8, this is our pit stop time. As we cut the corner, well, we get onto the curb as much as possible. Try not to come too fast into the pit lane, otherwise you will smash into that wall. So what pit stop can we get? As the Red Bulls look like they've stacked it, so we might be able to jump one of the Red Bulls. That's the Toro Rosso guys. What can they get us? Change the tyres. It's a 2.3, which is a great pit stop, and we have actually jumped Sebastian Vettel, I believe. I believe Sebastian Vettel is behind us. It's a very tricky pit exit as well, to be honest. You have to really slow it down and try not to get your foot on the throttle too early, which we do just a bit, nearly crossing that white line. I think we were just on it. But we are in P6 at the moment, but I believe there is someone ahead of us that hasn't pitted yet. I think it actually might be Lewis Hamilton who hasn't pitted yet. I think he might be the driver ahead of us who hasn't pitted for the moment. As we lose the back end and nearly smash into that wall. Luckily, we've got a big enough gap to the driver behind, which is Adrian Sutil, who also needs to pit. So luckily not to lose any positions there after losing the back end as we go into turn 3 now.
40% of fuel now, so that's 60% remaining.
Got a good amount of fuel left, 60% remaining with half the race to go as we cut ahead to the end of lap 9. Running it just a little bit over the curb. We're coming across the line to end lap 9. Is someone in the pits? Yes, there is a driver in the pits. It's Lewis Hamilton who pitted on lap 1, so he's obviously going for his second pit stop on his third set of tyres. So he will be coming back at us towards the end of the race because he will have 1 lap fresher tyres in a faster car. But we are up to P5 for now, which is absolutely fantastic after starting P9 and losing a position in the first lap. So we cut ahead to the last lap of the race. We've got Lewis Hamilton behind us. Like I said, he was going to definitely be catching us up.
5 seconds.
Fernando Alonso is too far ahead of us to even bother making a move. But like I said, Lewis Hamilton was going to definitely be catching us up with the fresher tyres and the faster car. I think that's also Sebastian Vettel that is behind him as well. As we're going into turn 3 now. And there's the arrow telling us that Lewis Hamilton is right behind us. So we've got to defend from him now. We've got to defend as much as possible if we want to keep P5. Although P6 does still sound nice after starting in P9. So last couple of corners now. The gap to Lewis Hamilton is 0.3 of a second, so we'll be really trying to keep him behind as he is going. It looks like he's going for a move on the outside of this turn. Will he make the move stick? We got the inside. We lock up. Oh no, we've hit. There's contact. There's contact. Luckily, no penalties there, and Lewis Hamilton doesn't lose position to Sebastian Vettel, but no penalties. So we're going to come across the line for P5 in the Austrian Grand Prix. What an absolute fantastic result.
Well done to Valtteri Bottas, who's won today's race. Congratulations to him and the Williams team for a fantastic performance.
They have been working really hard, and today they got their reward. Superb work from both the team and its driver.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time, though, goodbye.
So there we go. Valtteri Bottas wins the race after Nico Rosberg DNF'd and Lewis Hamilton crashed on lap 1, causing him to pit early. Felipe Massa comes second with Daniil Ricciardo third, Fernando Alonso fourth. We come in fifth, not getting any penalties for that collision with Lewis Hamilton. I think it was just a racing incident. Lewis Hamilton comes sixth, a great comeback drive for him. Sebastian Vettel comes seventh with Nico Hülkenberg eighth. Kimi Räikkönen comes ninth and Jenson Button gets 10th. Our teammate is down in P12. And there we go, just confirming Nico Rosberg's DNF. If we have a look at the drivers' standings after that race. So, Lewis Hamilton now leads the drivers' standings by 6 points after Nico Rosberg's DNF. Valtteri Bottas is third, only 16 points behind Lewis Hamilton now. We are down in 10th, 88 points behind Lewis, but obviously we're not challenging for the title this season. We are 5 points behind Jenson Button. Well, 5 points behind Jenson Button, Fernando Alonso, and I believe that was Kimi Räikkönen as we look at the constructors' standings. So Toro Rosso now in P5. Above McLaren Mercedes. Now that would do for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more F1 content, subscribe to my channel, and that's everything. Thank you. Have a nice